It's fall. Today is the 16th of September and I have finally narrowed down my fall knitting plans to a definitely unattainable amount, but slightly more reasonable than what I actually want to do. Historically, I'm a real fall kind of gal. I love the start of school energy. I love that it's like a fresh start energy that is motivating in a different way than the new year. And I think it's because as a kid, New Year's didn't matter, but the start of school did matter to me. And I still have this sort of nostalgic, let's go buy a brand new notebook and turn to a blank page and the year is starting. That's normally how I feel. And I feel that way, but I would say that this year, I'm not rushing it. I'm like mid-August. I'm like, all right, let's go fall. But I am not rushing it this year. And I think it's because of my knitting. I think I have just really enjoyed my summer knits, and doing these videos has made me actually more aware of where the seasons fall. So where they fall. Even though I think about August being the start of fall in some ways, because that's when the shift in our schedules is, it's not until the end of September. I didn't even know that until I started knitting. Anyway, I am now finally excited about fall knitting. The number of things that I want to do is ridiculous. I just have to remember that I plan on doing this for many, many years, and I can enjoy one project at a time. Anyway, that's not why you're here. You want to know what I'm knitting this fall so that you can get inspired for your own fall knitting, right? I have on my fall knitting list 4 sweaters. It's really 3 sweaters and a bonus. Like, if somehow I finish these 3 sweaters, then I'll do this 4th one, but that's not going to happen. So let's say 3 sweaters plus a bonus sweater, because that sounds less stressful than 4 sweaters, and 2 continuations from previous knitting, and 1 fix from a previous project. So let's start with the new stuff. I can't wiggle my eyebrows because I get Botox for migraines. Just imagine I can do it. All right, starting with this sweater, which I have been obsessed with since I first found it. This is the Spellman sweater by Hoard Designs. This is a fingering plus mohair. It ranges sizes 32-inch bust to 64-inch bust, and it is recommended that you have 4 inches of positive ease with it. This, I got yarn for this at my local yarn store's Black Friday sale. They had a sale where if you came the first hour, it was shop small. It was out on Saturday, the shop small day. They had a sale that if you went the first hour, you got 40% off. You got like a little sticker that says, I got here at 8 o'clock, you got 40% off. You got there the second hour, you got 30% off, third hour, 20, et cetera, et cetera. So I got there, I was like, 8 o'clock, I'm here, I'm gonna buy some yarn. And I had picked this pattern as one of the options that I was looking for yarn for. And I felt so proud of myself because I really paid attention to what yarn it needed. And I was wrong. I was wrong. Here's the thing. I will say that this design in Ravelry, it was listed when it said recommended yarns. It had 2 yarns, but they were the same yarn. And they were both a fingering weight yarn. And so I thought maybe she made 2 versions of it, and it's her own yarn. Dragon Hoard Designs also dyes yarn. So I thought maybe it's like the same yarn, just in a different colorway, and she just listed them both. And then I looked down in the description when it says what weight it needs, it says sport. So I was like, great, I'm gonna get a sport weight. I'm assuming that this is a fingering weight that knit up a little bit sporty. And I was wrong. It has now been updated. So now it does say a lace weight and a fingering weight as the suggested yarns. So I bought the wrong yarn, but we're going with it because it's just such beautiful yarn. This is the Malabrigo Caprino in number 213 Pines. And it's so beautiful. And it's so perfect for this sweater. I'm I'm really excited about it. This is not an inexpensive yarn. Sport weight was $18 per skein, and I bought 100 million of them. But I felt pretty excited. $18, 40% off. So crushing it. This is my plan. I'm going to gauge swatch with this and see what it looks like. And if it does not, if it doesn't meet gauge, then I might add a mohair. I'll talk about that in just one second, but let me tell you first what this is made up of, because that is relevant to the conversation. This is 80% superfine merino and 20% cashmere. That's just so nice. I love that. It feels beautiful. So I know it won't have the same like halo because it doesn't, oh, my notebook fell down. I know it won't have the same halo because it's missing the mohair, but I did find some people who just had knitted up with like a DK sport weight yarn. So it can be done, and I'm going to do it. I was thinking if it doesn't meet gauge, if it's somehow not big enough, I might hold it with mohair. And I have this mohair. I'm like almost too shy to show you, but I'm going to show you. This is Fireweed Fiber Co. Anemone lace. Anemone lace in Big Bad's back. 72% mohair, 28% silk. And it is like a black purple. Is that crazy to hold with this? Maybe it's crazy. But I feel like in this yarn, there are some darker spots. I don't know. That's my backup plan. And if that looks dumb, then I'll just go buy some mohair that actually matches it. Or I like the idea of it being a darker one to make it even more, give the color even more depth. But we'll see what that's like. This one has a lot of, we'll see how it gauges, how it swatches. How do you say that? Stay tuned. That's what I'm saying. Stay tuned. Next up is the Scotch Broom Wrap, and this is by Wool and Pine Designs. This calls for fingering weight yarn, and it fits sizes 30 inches to 70 inches, and it calls for -2 to +2 inches of ease. So choose your own ease adventure on that one. The yarn that I got for this, which I'm terribly excited about, is from a Verb for keeping warm. I love this yarn company. I think their yarn is so beautiful. I love their vibes. I love their ethics. And I got to go to their store in Oakland. It's in the Oakland area. I'm not sure if it's officially Oakland, but I got to go to their store and I got this yarn. This is called Wild Bloom in the color Sweet Yam. And it's the perfect yarn. It's very similar to the yarn blend, the yarn fiber content. It's very similar to the yarn fiber content of the one that the Scotch Broom Wrap was designed for. God, that was the hardest sentence I've ever said, I think. It is, let me tell you what's in it. Only goodness. It is 41% baby alpaca, 35% silk, 13% merino, and 10% yak. So it is just a really, it's very fuzzy. It's like got a real halo about it. Yeah, I think it will be the perfect yarn for this wrap. I've never made a cardigan or a wrap, so this will be my first. Let me think about this so that I'm not lying to you. Yeah, this will be my first garment that is knit all in one piece, but is a back and forth situation. So I'm excited. It'll be a new skill. The Scotch Broom stitch is on the sleeves. That's the really gorgeous detail of it. So that'll be interesting, and hopefully it doesn't take forever. As I was writing up all the information for these patterns, I realized I've only chosen fingering weight, like teeny tiny patterns. So the winter time might end up being like only chunky knits because I might be over the skinny guys. Scotch Broom Wrap, Woolen Pine, Wild Bloom. This next knit I'm also going to do with Verb for Keeping Warm yarn. This is the Cozy Classic Light by Jessie Made Designs. This is another fingering weight pattern, and this calls for 2 to 4 inches of positive ease. And the sizes are 32 inches to 64 inches in the finished garment measurements. I did start this actually back in April. I think it was April. That's when I went to the store, and I was so excited about it that I started it. And I was so excited that I started it on the wrong size needles, and it was my first time doing a tubular cast on, so it wasn't that good. So I just ripped it back and decided to hold it until the fall when I would really be able to wear it, as opposed to, like, it's just too hot in the summer here ever to wear long sleeves, let alone a sweater. So it's like a perfect fall sweater. And even just in the past 3 months, April, May, June, July, August, like 4.5 months. In the past 4.5 months, I feel like my knitting has improved because I'm still a new knitter. I cannot wait any longer because I am so obsessed with this yarn. And I think this pattern, it's just like a very simple pattern, and it's very much my style. I find that like a lot of times the patterns that are really popular that everybody makes, they just don't fit my body type or my style, or I'm like, that's so awesome for you, but not as much for me. So this one it's like a beautiful, just lightweight sweater. It's actually very similar in shape to the Spellman sweater, it looks like, from the pictures that I've seen, from the project pages. So maybe I have a type. Maybe I'll expand that type in the winter time, but for now, I'm sticking with it. The yarn I'm using is Verb for Keeping Warm. I think I mentioned that already. And this is the floating base in the colorway Foggy Butterfly. And I feel confident that the camera will not do justice to how stinking gorgeous this yarn is. This yarn, I really had not planned on getting this yarn. I did a lot of pre-search, if you will, before going to the store, because I wanted to be clear on how much yarn I needed to make whatever pattern. So I wasn't in the store like, well, this is nice, what could I make for it? And then make with it. And then I looked up my favorites, which is currently like 15,000 projects, you know? So I did a lot of pre-search, but then this yarn just like called to me. Did I already tell you the colorway? It's the colorway Foggy Butterfly. And, you know, I feel like anybody who has dealt with grief in their life develops an obsession with some kind of flying creature. Birds, owls specifically, butterflies. It's like something about that just like helps us process the loss of a person in your life. And so butterflies and owls are my go-to for grief therapy, animal grief therapy. And then because I was in the San Francisco area and the fog is a big deal, right? Carl, the fog. It was just like the name called to me. I loved the color. It feels so nice. It is, get out my glasses. It's 70% superfine alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. So I'm terribly excited to cast this one on too. I'm actually like kind of tempted to start this one. This is the problem, is I want to make all 3 of them right now, like right this second. There's plenty of time. There's an abundance of time. It's going to be gorgeous. You can do no wrong with this yarn. I wonder if I'll ever wear it. I might be too scared to wear it. No, probably not. I'm not that precious. Anyway, okay. Cozy Classic Light. That's that one. I'm really thrilled about it. Now my bonus one is certainly a pattern you've never heard of. It's called the Ranunculus by Midori Hirose. I'm not going to tell you anything about it because I know that you know about it. And if you don't know about it, just look it up. 8 gabillion YouTube videos about it, because there are also 8 gabillion project pages for it on Ravelry. But there is one project in particular that I really loved as I was looking through the pages, the project pages. And it was a woman who made it to go with her mother of the bride wedding dress. Maybe she was the mother of the groom. Anyway, she was definitely a mom and was definitely for a wedding. And she made it with a single strand of mohair. She made it small and cropped, like this, kind of fitted and cropped. And I love the way it looks. It's just this like gauzy, open, oh, it's so beautiful. And I thought that would be a really fun way to actually use this Big Bad's back, which I talked about possibly joining with my, who's this yarn by? Oh, joining with my Malabrigo yarn for the Spellman sweater. But if it doesn't, if I end up not needing it, or if it looks weird, which is highly likely, then I would love to use this for a Ranunculus. Fibre Co. I was just reading their label and I love them. This is from the Buffy the Vampire Slayer line. Hello? It's like, can you be any cooler? Fireweed? Yes! So that's the plan with this, if it doesn't end up in the other one. Let's say somehow this actually looks good with the green and I end up using it for my Spellman sweater. Don't worry, I have a backup plan. And that is this peachy colored Sorella yarn. Oh, in the colorway The Man. That's so cute. I don't think I ever noticed that. I got this from a yarn de-stash. It's really pretty. This is the kind of thing that like, I love this color, and I don't necessarily think, I don't think it looks bad on me, but it's like a little too close to my skin tone, which works with some skin tones, but I don't think it works with my skin tone. So this is a perfect thing to wear over something else. This color is a perfect color to wear over something else so that you get to see this color, but it's not the only color that you're seeing around my face. Which means I think it would work really well for the Ranunculus in this version. I have some other ideas of what to do with this if it doesn't get used for that. So I have ideas all over the place. So that's it. I'm just going to casually knit 4 sweaters in 3 months. Right? Right, Lacey? Nope. Let me get out my continuing projects. Y'all must be sick of seeing these by now. Yummy. Wallflowers. Look, this is the latest thing I've done, is added these big flowers. I have a few more to add. Anyway, oh, I'm so proud of it. This one is getting finished. This is the Wallflowers by Sue Matton of the Mercery. I am using Scheepjes Terrazzo yarn, and it is designed for Rowan felted tweed, but she also offers the Scheepjes as a slightly more cost-effective option. And I have a lot left to do on this, but I'm going to finish it in the fall. Now the fall ends in December. Like, fall is actually like goes a long time, technically. We're just like doing technicalities here. And I set myself a goal to finish this within the calendar year. So if I end up finishing it a week after fall, it could still be the calendar year. It will be done while I'm knitting 3 sweaters simultaneously. It's fine. It's fine, Lacey. This is this one. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it because I've talked about it in so many podcasts. I've talked about it in so many podcast episodes, but also I think I will, when I finish it, probably do a pretty deep dive on it in case anybody is interested in doing this pattern, because there are things to know, and it's been such a, what's the right word? Like, it's been such a formative process for me in learning to crochet and learning to take chances with color and things like that. So stay tuned for that. But first I'm gonna finish it. So don't hold your breath because it might not be till the new year when I actually make a video about it. Then my tour blanket, the never-ending tour blanket. I'm not finishing it because who knows when I'm gonna finish it. When I stop going on tour, maybe. But we are going on tour in October to Pennsylvania, New York, Delaware? I think we're going to Delaware. And I've already started looking up some yarn stores, and we're actually really close. There are a couple of hotels that are walking distance to yarn stores. That's my favorite. I love it when that happens because yarn is a little bit expensive sometimes. And you know what else is? Ubers. So that's real. We're going to New York, and it's during Rhinebeck. And I got a little bit excited, like, oh my gosh, could I like squeeze in a trip to Rhinebeck? No, it's Western New York. It's very far away from Rhinebeck. No Rhinebeck, but I'll be shopping at the yarn stores, supporting them in person, to continue this guy. So based on the research I've done so far, which is not yet extensive and is still just very dreamy, I have to wait until we get a little closer and I know my schedule more to know which ones I can actually go to, which yarn stores I can actually go to. But I anticipate adding at least 5 squares to this, maybe more. Tour is 2 weeks long. Maybe between 5 and 7. We'll see how it goes. That's that. That'll be exciting though, because then I can finish this and this like poor little guy has just been hanging out. And this lives on my my blanket ladder in my bedroom. And this is possibly my favorite yarn that I have ever gotten. It's just such a magical fairyland colorway. And because it's the only one on its row, there's no way for me to display it on the blanket ladder. I like sort of folding this a different way and rotating it around so I can see different squares on the blanket ladder. So your time is coming, fairy. That is all that I'm continuing. I have a couple of summer projects that are on track to actually be finished in the summer, which is amazing. I have 2 shirts. I have 1 shirt that I never even started. So sorry about that. The last thing I want to do in the fall is just a fix. This is my sorrel sweater, which is inside out. Stand by. I was wondering why there were so many like little things sticking out. There we go. This is my sorrel sweater. Oh, it's so nice. I forgot about it. I forgot how nice it was. I love it. I call it my sunset sorrel because obviously the colors are winter sunset. This spring sorrel is by Wool and Pine, and the yarn I used was the Wood Lily DK from Fireweed Fibre Co. It was my Advent from 2024, which I used immediately. I was so proud of myself. I like unpacked them all and then immediately was like, all right, let's make a thing. So that is that. I love it, except this is my first knitted sweater, and I'm just checking my math. It was my first knitted sweater, and I was really struggling with the bind off, like getting the yarn to go over off the needle. I was really struggling with it, so I did it with a crochet hook, which was awesome and very helpful. Great tip. However, make sure your crochet hook is big. I didn't do that. So I used kind of a small crochet hook, and I didn't use a stretchy bind off. So it like actually cuts in a little bit at the waist. It's not like, that's how much stretch that has, and this is how much stretch this has. And this is a sweater, negative ease. It's meant to be, I wanted it to be like kind of a vintage fitted vibe, you know? So this makes it almost unwearable. And if you plan on eating meals during the day, definitely unwearable. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's right at that spot. So I am going to unpick this. I think I have the skill set now to do this. I didn't originally think I did. Like when it happened, I was like, oh no, I need to do this, but I know that I don't have the skills to do it. I now feel that I have the skills. And so I'm going to unpick it, and I'm actually going to add maybe an inch of length to it and then bind it off with the most loosey-goosey, have as many lunches as you want, bind off. So that I can wear this because I love it. And I might actually prioritize this because I would love to wear this. This would be a nice one for our tour, which is like one of the rare opportunities I have where I get to just like wear nice clothes and not immediately change into a uniform or something like that. So that's it. I've also been really going hard on sewing lately. I'm not gonna show you much about it because I don't actually have the fabrics for the things that I want to do, but I'm just going to mention it here that I do have 2 sewing goals. I have many things that I'm going to work on, but the 2 like sort of large scale garments that I want to make are the Veronica skirt by Megan Nielsen and the Magic Pants by Ann Tilley Designs. I would love to make those magic pants before I go on tour as well. That might be a little bit, I go on tour in a month. I think I can do it. I set a goal for this year. One of my 25 for 25 things I wanted to do this year was to sew and wear in public 3 garments. So I just finished a wrap dress this week. I actually made a skirt for my stepdaughter that she did wear to the Renaissance Fair. So if I get pinched for time, maybe I could count that, but I don't think I'm going to need to because I have enough ideas of other things that I want to make that are quick makes. But these are the 2 big ones that I would like to do that are just like more steps. The magic pants in particular, there are a lot of steps, but I don't have fabric. I have one fabric that maybe I could use for the skirt, but it's white and I don't wear white. But I could dye it. But that might be going a bridge too far. I've never dyed anything. And my fear is that, you know, when you just like, you make it overly complicated and then you're like, no, I can't do it anymore. I don't want to do that to myself. So I would rather just go get some fabric. So yeah, I might go to the thrift store, find me a cute tablecloth or skirt or something. This fall is going to be a really beautiful, full season. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about our tour going up to New York in October. I'm sure the leaves are going to be gorgeous. It's going to be cold. Sometimes we go to warm places on fall tour and it's a little bit disappointing because you miss the fall at home. Fall is like the actual weather of fall, I feel like only lasts 2 to 3 weeks in the DC area where I live. So I don't want to miss that. And if we go to Florida, for instance, we went to Florida for fall tour a couple of years ago and it was like, I loved going. It was really a fun tour, but then I came home like, well, the leaves are done. They're gone and I missed it. So I'm excited that we're going to get to go to a place and drive through the in-between towns and get to see all the leaves and all that. It'll be great. Do I have anything else to tell you? I don't think so. Happy fall. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time. And until then, have fun, be nice, and do good work.